In a world where hopium and common sense collide, starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto.
Question everything, trust nothing. It's your boy BlockchainCrusader, and welcome back for another episode of TA Thursday Around the Charts. We got Frankie Candles, Bill Noble, and the one and only Magic Internet Money. How's it going, guys?
Hi, thanks for having me.
Awesome having you guys on here. This is one of my favorite shows of the entire week. Just so much knowledge and effort is put into creating this show, and the people that watch it, I hope you guys are learning. I hope you guys are paying attention. And like always, if you guys want to learn more, go follow these individuals, right? Go follow them. Go follow their channels. Go get involved in their Discords. Go get involved in their groups and keep learning, because now is the time to learn, right? During these tough times is the time to be learning. Don't wait to the bull market to try to make your plan. So, guys, we all know the Ethereum merge. It happened. It actually happened, and it so far so good, right? It didn't collapse, didn't destroy itself, didn't explode like the Death Star. So, with that being said, it turns out to be a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of event for Ethereum. People were expecting the moon, but we fell quite short of the moon. Right, we're down at 1476 right now. We were a lot higher than that a few days ago. So let's start off the show with Ethereum. What's happening? Where is it going? When moon for Ethereum? So anyone can take it. Anyone can take it
hop
first.
On if you want. We covered this back on like the first. We talked about Ethereum after we made that high around 2K. So it's pretty easy to pick up the chart from there. We were talking about 1337 getting taken. So I'll go ahead and share the screen just so people can actually get a visual of it, but we won't eat up too much time. Those lows, I think, are going to be something that will get taken on Ethereum's chart. So I believe Ethereum USD is, we'll just go to Bybit and do it this way. So Ethereum-wise, you came up to a pretty high time frame average, and then all you've done is retraced to your 618 retrace and your July highs. From there, you basically swung fail some highs, and now you're working your way through the range. Your key levels and horizontals that you're going to want to be aware of are pretty simple. Your previous week low, we can go ahead and get rid of that because we've already swept it. Weekly open, we'll get rid of, and the previous week high, keep it kind of clean. So you're basically looking down to 1425, which is an old merged value area low, but 1337 and these lows right here and these stops to me are going to get ran. And then it's the potential of, are we going to actually come all the way back down to the real range lows and reach those destinations? So for me, this is the big area I've been waiting for. When we talked about it, we were back in this region up here, and I just said, I'm really only interested in buying Ethereum again down at these levels. If I miss the boat on the ride up, I've already kind of planted a seed or two in this region. I'm willing to take that risk because I just can't find myself buying up at this region. So to me, whether it's the event or not, you have to look at it from a TA standpoint, and you just can't buy into resistance. It's more of a common sense thing at that point, in my opinion. That's why you don't see me posting a lot of news events. It's just not my forte, I guess.
Dude, awesome explanation. Guys, we got 80 people in here. Smash the likes. Go follow these guys if you're not following them yet. Come on, show the channel some love. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button. It works for us too, right? Engagement is engagement. Drop your nasty comment, hit the dislike button, and you can see your way out. But I hope you guys are liking the show. So smash the likes. Let's go. So Bill, what are you seeing with Ethereum? What are you thinking with after the merge not being the when moon scenario that everybody thought it was? How are you seeing Ethereum right now on the charts?
All right, let me share screen. So there's that ugly feeling in TA where you wake up and you realize you have too much company.
Yeah.
Right. that wow, everyone was thinking the same thing. So here's the ETH on the daily chart. This is my Jesse Livermore accumulation cone, right? That I thought was a prelude to a parabolic. I think Magic is right. I think, this is going to wind up sweeping 1400, even though I personally find it unconscionable that everyone is selling Ethereum on top of the 2017 highs. I just think as an old school guy, I remember being at Bitcoin Miami in 2021. If you went up to somebody and said, hey, you know, you're going to get to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum on top of the 2017 highs one more time. And they would go, oh yeah, man. Well, I'd be selling my house doing that. Okay.
And here we are.
And here we are. And there's no bid for your house and no one wants to do it. All right. So
that's a whole nother story.
You know, that's a whole other story, right? So no one wants to do it. You know, I kind of want the bottom of my little accumulation cone to hold, but I can't admit honestly that this thing that I follow called the Williams Awesome Oscillator, like when it gets close to zero like this, that's when really big moves occur, right? Like there was a little, you know, it was like close to zero here, and that was the bottom in ETH. So is this going to be a trend lower? Sometimes when you have big events, I like to tell people that the first move is often wrong. Like when you do like a payroll number or a Fed tightening, you know, everybody goes, oh, well, let's sell the fact. Okay. And my comment is, well, what fact are you selling? The fact that the supply of this number 2 rated cryptocurrency is about to like fall dramatically. And I'm like, all right, well, you know, I kind of have egg over my face because I was sort of a September bulltard. It may have to wait until October, November. I don't know, but I have two when in doubt zoom out points. So it's lower than it was when I made it this morning. This was catchier earlier, but do you realize the monthly open for Ethereum was 1554? Now it's obviously a lot lower than that now, but if you had gone to Vegas and said, you know what are the odds that the day after the Ethereum merge, ETH would be unchanged for that month? Like it wouldn't have moved. And people would have said, oh, you're crazy, right? Really, for the month, nothing has happened. And I still like this DeMark 9 bottoms, although they can be tricky. Like when you had this big 13 signal up here for April, that's when I was screaming, sell in May and go away. So I know Magic is right. If they're going to run the stops, they're going to make it a spectacular event, right? Bitcoin, you know, if it comes up, if it cooperates, which it's not, it's got a very similar look to it. Okay, here's Bitcoin, right? The monthly open was, you know, about 20K, and the 9 bottom was last month. So, you know what? Here's my bottom line. If they're going to run the stops, they're going to run the stops. Okay. And I may be wrong about the, you know, uber bullish view for September, right? But the good news is if I am wrong, because I thought they were going to do it all at once. I thought we were just going to go straight up. But you know what? If they want to hit it, my GAN work's going to flip around. If they hit this thing all month, it's going to open up October, November, December to have 3 bullish periods in there. So it's the same. So, okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Yeah, I was just like, just don't give up the ship, right? I mean, Vitalik made it happen, and now we're all acting like, you know, oh yeah, sell everything, go away. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's a good point, right? Especially with the triple halvening with Ethereum that's happening now that we're on proof of stake. You know, it's a delayed process. It's not a flip the switch, boom, straight to the moon. With just like the Bitcoin halvenings, right? It doesn't take massive effect right at the moment. It will take time. Also, the same thing with I think it was IP 1559 where they started burning Ethereum, right? It started a slow process. Now it's burned a million, and it's had millions of it, and it's had a massive effect with time. So I think, you know, I think there is a good valid point on that. With the next couple of months could be very bullish for Ethereum if things continue to go right, even though a lot of people are not happy about the proof of stake. I'm sure the miners are not happy about it, but you know, somebody's going to have to win. Somebody's going to have to lose.
Right. I'm praying 1,300 holds. Go ahead.
Yeah. Dude,
I'm kind of praying, you know what I'm saying? If that doesn't hold, man, it's like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to buy Ethereum down below 1,000, 100%. I would love to be buying Ethereum down there again. But at the same time, I also have that feeling where I'm just like, come on, let's just
what does the world look like if it's down there though? That's I'm like, oh.
I mean, it depends how long we're down there for, right? If it's a quick little event, no big deal. But you know, I just want to get past this hump, right? This valley that we're crossing, this valley of death right now. You know, it's aggravating because you got to be patient. You got to be patient. And patience is something that people struggle with. I struggle with it. I'm sure a lot of people struggle with it. Frankie, what are you seeing for the charts, man?
Yeah, so for Ethereum, let me go ahead and share my chart. But first, I just want to say thank you for having me on. Love coming on this show, man. So I appreciate it.
Thank you for
But
coming on, dude.
of course. But for Ethereum, I was talking to TJ at the BitBoy Crypto offices, and we were kind of talking. He actually said something similar to you, Miguel, comparing the merge to the Bitcoin halving, where, at first glance, you might think you're just going to go up in a straight line. But he was saying, he kind of thought that it would be, wouldn't be an immediate effect. And I kind of agreed with that. I thought this was either going to be something of a nothing burger, not too much happens, or we were going to get a big dump down, or not a huge dump, but I thought it would be a sell the news event. If not, it just kind of wouldn't do anything. And we kind of got both of those, right? Like nothing really happened right away. And then we woke up this morning, everybody woke up and apparently sold. But some levels that I'm watching right now are, the main level I'm watching right now is going to be, right now we're losing this value area low. I just zoom in so we can kind of get a better look here. So yeah, we are currently losing this value area low. If we continue to come down, which I am leaning a little bit more bearish on Ethereum because if we come over here to the 4-day chart on Market Cipher A is printing a blood diamond on the 4-day, and on such a high time frame, these are typically pretty bearish with the blood diamonds or the yellow X's. These are both bearish signals on Market Cipher A. Yellow X's usually play out a bit more, but on a time frame like the 4-day, these can play out pretty brutally. So if this confirms, I would be leaning a little bit more bearish on Ethereum. However, we also have money flow coming out on some pretty strong time frames. So that is also making me lean a little bit bearish. However, looking at some levels, as we lose this value area low, some spots down below that I am looking at are going to be this level at about 1354, right? But then that next major level I'm looking at is going to be around 1249. And if you come over here and look at the volume profile, you can see, we have a pretty big gap in volume here. And then we have a little bit of a peak in volume here. So maybe we come down. If we make it this low, I would look for some sort of a reaction off of this 1354 level. And if we lose that, I would be expecting a quick move down to kind of come on top of our previous range that we were trading in, not too long ago in June, where we have a lot of technical support as well as a giant high volume node here. So I would expect if we lose that value area low and we break this small, this little peak in volume right here, I would expect to come down and find some major support on these previous highs back here from that range we were trading in June. And again, reason for that, other than just the technical support you see here, is that, massive high volume node that we have down here. So generally leaning a little bit more bearish, again, just because of those bearish signals, as well as money flow coming out. And then those are some of the targets I'm looking for.
Dude, that's amazing. That's what I love about this show, right? We bring on multiple different TA experts on here, and even though your TA styles are so different, you guys have very similar outlooks and price points where things are going, and that's the magic of the show, right? Is even though people think differently, the outcomes are very similar on where they're going. So for people that are trying to learn TA, it just shows you there's not one way that's right or wrong. You can do a combination of many different things, and there's many different styles, and you can find the style that works best for you. Also, we've only got 48 likes. We got over 100 people in here. Let's smash the likes. And I just want to quickly remind the audience, make sure to go follow these guys. These guys are bringing you tons of knowledge and education on here by showing you different styles and how to get the same kind of answer. So make sure you follow them. And another quick reminder is, we're going to be doing an ETH giveaway tonight for another 25 bags that have been minted from our NFT project, Danger Close Alpha. So if you're not in the Discord yet, make sure you jump into the Discord. We're giving away 0.125 Ethereum right tonight. So make sure if you guys are already in the Discord, get excited, get hyped. It's going to happen after this show. So get ready, guys, for that. And we're going to be giving away another 0.125 ETH when another 25 bags are minted, and we're pretty close to the end. We got like about 100 bags at best. So if you don't got your bags and you're not prepared for the faction war, what are you waiting for? Now that that's out of the way, let's get back to the TA, right? That's what the people are here for. Crypto Billy, thank you for the super chat. Bitcoin, what's happening? right? We're talking about we've seen the Federal Reserve, the CPI numbers, all these things are happening. Bitcoin's kind of, 2019, 20, 19, 22, 19, 17. Are we gonna hold this 19 level, or is there a good chance that we might break? Or are we gonna head a lot higher before we ever come back down to these lower levels? What are you guys thinking? Magic, why don't you take it away?
Bueno. Let's go ahead and hop on the chart. That way you guys can see what I'm talking about while we're doing it. Kind of a messier chart right now, so I'm going to clean it up a little bit as we go. But essentially, as you came up, you basically just tagged the gold pocket. You also had your value area high here of your overall range, so I'm not going to turn that on just to keep the chart somewhat clean. But just know that your one standard deviation of the high side is just above this level, but you did come into the gold pocket. Into the CPI news, the big thing was, I think I had said when I was on the show last time, we were trading at like 19.4, just below the TPO value area low. I said 21.6 really is what we're looking for. And reason being was it was like your August NPOC, you have your monthly pivot is there. There was a bi-monthly pivot. There's just a lot. The overall range point of control was there at the time. So this was kind of a big take profit. And then anything else is kind of gravy. But honestly, even with the CPI and all the news and events that have happened, because you have to remember, we've been in this range since June 18th. Had you just traded support and resistance the entire time and just unemotionally traded the range, you would have made money and made a lot of it. So always remember that. Take that out of the equation. I know news and events like that, policy does matter. But when you're getting an event like that into resistance, you just simply cannot be looking at that, especially on a rise this fast. As something I should be buying. Your only option is to either sit the move out or to look for the opposing direction, which this obviously did fill. On the way down, we did have some single prints that came out. I'll go ahead and load those. Those are things that we had loaded up through EXO. So you had single prints that came in at 20,200 to 19,958, bringing us back to the 3-month level, which is your quarterly open at 19,960.
What are we looking? Sorry to cut you off, but what are we looking at right now?
So this is EXO charts. So this is just running through the volume and then looking for kind of when he describes a volume gap on the profile. It's very similar, only this is going to give you an exact value of where the last person did capitulate, meaning that let's say that bears were defending this level right here at $19,441. The last seller capitulates here, and then the move basically uninterrupted goes to the upside. So that's what a single print is. And you can see that they're marked out here. You could separate these two as there was a little resistance in between, but in reality, they're pretty much one move. So once you find your way back into these on the way down, they fill with a very high probability. In a strong trend, they'll actually serve as support and resistance because people that are influencing the market or buyers and sellers will defend those positions to keep the trend going. So once these are entered, you're usually going to cycle the whole range. So for us, as soon as we started giving up, especially about 21.2, 21.3, 17.50, that region of the chart, you have to be looking at this and saying, we're going to at least back test our overall 12M1 from 2021, just a high time frame average at 20,688.50. That would be these levels right here. So you're really going to want to see this level hold. And reason being is you can see right here, anytime that we're above it, it's good, right? This is a very well-respected average. We talked about this average as we were making our way down because it is just the pivot from 2021. So the number was already there. And if you're below it, where do you go? Well, traditionally, we go down below 19K. So for me, I am still looking for a little bit lower until we show some strength here. We're trying to sweep previous day lows and hold on to what support we have, especially at these quarterly levels. But in reality, I think we're probably heading down to 18,775 to 18,625. And then if that doesn't hold, I really do think at that point you're challenging the low here. So I still want to treat this as support until it's not, just because Bill made a really good point earlier, and I don't want to steal too much time here, but if you zoom out to the 3-month chart, that quarterly open at 19,916.50, that is an area that we've been talking about since the Q3 opened. We said if we're going to set up high time frame support, we're going to spend a lot of time in this area, and it will prove to probably be a very important area on the chart coming into the end of September, into October, November. So am I expecting a full-on breakdown from this level? I'm still treating it as range-bound till it's not, because I think that's where the opportunity is. So again, we're just trading support and resistance for what they are, but at the same time, I'm not just blindly buying them. I'm looking for triggers, looking for entries to justify my position so that I can work out an invalidation. So that's how I'm seeing it. I still think that we probably have a little bit of a way down unless we start reclaiming probably 20K convincingly. And then I'm still only looking to back test 20,688.50 and just take it level to level. at that time. So yeah, that's how I see the market. It's a trader's market. That's what I'll leave it at. Trader's market. The opportunist is going to be the one that's going to benefit the most, in my opinion, right now.
Dude, that's great, man. That's we'll see what happens, right? And it's a good point. Those resistances, you just keep colliding right with these events at the same time, and then boom, massive drops, right? With that, we have a really good question here in the chat. I don't know who wants to tackle this. Maybe Bill, you want to tackle this question as well. But the question is, gold broke down today. Does this suggest that we're heading towards a more risk-on environment? What do you think about that, Bill?
Okay, so in gold, we saw what I think is the classic give up trade, right? If you look at, say, an intraday candlestick and Pax Gold, like a 4-hour chart, which I'm about to pull up here, okay, it's going to look like what Bitcoin looked like at 18K, right? It's going to be like, oh, you know, everyone's like, oh, I'm going to give up on Bitcoin. And then they gave up on Bitcoin at 18K, and then it was up 10% 2 days later. This is something I do called hidden pivot analysis, right? And my target for Pax is like 1640. My broader picture is that when you see this, okay, this is people giving up. And when you see people giving up, that's when it's time to start either getting in or start to DCA. Now, one of the reasons why I like this show, all right, other than the fact that, you know, my colleagues are friendly and intelligent, you know, guys like Frankie and Magic, they have this great way of identifying these support points and then identifying like how the market will overshoot it. So let's pretend for a moment ETH's not going to 800. Let's pretend that. Let's pretend that Magic's level around 1330 and some of the numbers Frankie was talking about, or his idea that maybe a little bit lower is the way to do. And here's a question I'll ask. Let's say you were the biggest hedge fund on the planet, like Ray Dalio. And if you wanted to buy a truckload of crypto, how would you do it, right? Would you just come into the market and ape in and take ETH to 2200? Or would you do a hedge fund old school classic that when the market was teetering, you'd come in and hit it. And when all the stops were run, you would stand down there and take it all. So right here, there's a horizontal line that I can just draw at like 19,500. This is the 90-minute DeMark chart, right? And notice down here, when it went below that, that was the Bitcoin give up trade. That's what gold's doing right now. So everybody sort of gave up and then it rallied. Now, if you zoom in on like the DeMark Elliott wave tool, right? It was like, you know, down to 19, up to 20. That was your B. So A, B. And I always say about C, they're always a nightmare. They always go a little bit farther than you'd like. So you know what, Magic, Frankie, these guys, they're the tactical guys. If the tactical guys think 18, hey, why not? But the thing you have to ask yourself in Pax, right? You have to ask yourself in Pax, in ETH, in all this stuff, if you start puking it below 1400 or you're puking it at 1300, just ask yourself one question. Who are you selling it to?
Dude, that is a very, very good question, right? Like people love to panic sell at these levels. And even when we go lower and when we're at really high prices, everyone's begging for these low prices. Oh, I cannot wait for Bitcoin to hit 20,000. I'm going to buy up so much Bitcoin, right? And then we hit 20,000 and people are like, I'm going to wait for 10. I'm going to wait for 10, right? And then when 10 happens, they're like, it's probably going to go to 1. I'm going to wait for 1,000 and I'll buy 1,000. And at some point, there's a reversal, right? And they completely miss the boat. And then they say, well, we're back at 20. It's kind of expensive now. I'm going to keep waiting a little bit. Maybe we'll have a dip. And maybe it has another rip again. Now we're at 30. And they're like, okay, I'll start buying some. And then we come back down to 15. And they're like, and then they're always buying tops and selling bottoms, right?
Right.
So
the big boys are down there. I'm telling you.
Exactly, right? Exactly. And that's exactly what you asked. Who are you selling to? Somebody's buying it, right? The AI isn't buying it. The AIs aren't buying it yet. The metaverse isn't buying it yet, right? somebody out there is physically buying up this Bitcoin, right? This Ethereum, and we're seeing more and more institutional investors getting involved with crypto every single day. More and more news about these institutions somehow, some way getting involved and putting money into it. So they're obviously making a play. And when is it better for them to get in? Now, during the bear market, right?
Sailor is literally selling his house. He's selling more stock to buy more Bitcoin. Now, can you remember back in the days? Right. Can you remember back in the day where it was like Sailor buys more Bitcoin? You know what I'm saying? Now it's like Sailor buys more Bitcoin. Okay, whatever, yours.
It goes down. Yeah.
To your point, though, and I'll keep this short and sweet. You were talking about who you're selling to, and you were saying they don't buy, they puke at the lows. I think for a lot of people, what they fail to do is actually write down a plan and stick to it. If you do that, even if your plan's wrong, it's okay. You can live with the results. But if you just constantly do what you're talking about, you and Miguel, where it's like they buy at the top and sell at the bottom because they're just not paying attention to what they said they were going to do. They're not actually putting those steps in place to identify value. Like Ethereum has value. Like you said, if Ethereum hits $1,000, does it have value? Yes. Am I going to buy Ethereum there? Probably. So you got to put that plan into place, take action. And I think that's where people fail. Even though we come on here and tell them that every week, probably, but that's really what it comes down to. Self-responsibility to your money.
Frankie, what are you seeing for the Bitcoin chart, man?
Yeah, let me go ahead and share my chart. And I do just want to say on that note, you are 100% right. I talk about this on my channel all the time. Everybody's saying, Bitcoin goes back down near 20K. I'm selling my house. And then, we get down here and it's like, it's just crickets. Everybody's like, oh, I don't want to buy. And then that's why I always tell people, it's so hard to catch the bottom. I don't even recommend trying to catch the bottom because, you get that bounce. You think it's the bottom, then you get the bounce. You're like, oh, it'll come back down, and then you goes back a little bit higher, and then you wind up buying on the way up. It's a nightmare. When I first got into crypto, I went through that whole rigmarole. I think we all learn the hard. Sometimes it's easier to learn the hard way. Sometimes I always say on my channel, sometimes you gotta touch the hot stove yourself. But let me go ahead and share my chart here. Boom. There we go. Beautiful. So for Bitcoin, I am getting a little bit of mixed signals here. If we look at the weekly chart now, I do want to bring this up. Now, granted, this could potentially have already played out. However, we do have a yellow X forming on the weekly time frame for Bitcoin. Now, this is typically a very bearish signal, and we've actually never had this happen on the weekly, right? We've never had this on this actual time frame, and just like we've never had this blood diamond pop up on the weekly time frame. And when I was talking about this, people roasted me because everybody thought we were coming higher. They saw higher highs here and higher lows. And I was calling for this blood diamond. Guys, this is dangerous. It's never happened before. Very bearish signal. And everyone's like, no, bullish market structure. We're going up. All I saw was a bear flag and the confirmation of this blood diamond. And it absolutely poured purple candles or red candles. And now I'm getting, a similar feeling with this yellow X. The reason I have mixed signals is we are also printing a green dot on market cipher B. So this would be a pretty strong bullish signal. And then this being a very bearish signal. So potentially this could have played out already. And then this green dot brings us up. The reason, however, these yellow X's typically come in twos. The first one brings you down a whole bunch. You get a little, you get a little bounce, and then you print another one, and the second one brings you down even further. So on the longer time frame, I have to say, a little bit of mixed signals on the weekly. However, working our way down the time frames here, we are now currently printing a yellow X on this 4-day candle. And now this is got me feeling pretty bearish because you could see we printed the green dot on market cipher B. And then the VWAP rolled right back over and printed a red dot. Now, if this starts to leak into these higher timeframes from the 4-day into the 5-day, the 6-day, and the weekly, the 5 and 6-day are also printing green dots. So if we see that 4-day red dot leak into these higher time frames, I think this green dot on the weekly could potentially get stepped on, and we could print another yellow X and come a little bit lower, or this yellow X just might continue to play out. Now, some major levels I am watching to the downside if we do continue down is going to be the value area low, right? So we came down to the point of control. We held the point of control for a little bit, and then now we're starting to lose it, right? Let me come down to a lower time frame so we can see a little better here. Yeah, 2 yellow X's here on the 1 hour. This has got me feeling a little bit more bearish too. But we're starting to lose this point of control. Now, typically when you lose the point of control, it kind of shows that the bears are, the bears are in control, or the bears have the lead here. And it is usually, you usually do tend to, once you break that POC, you tend to work your way down towards that value area low. And I tell people all the time on my channel, price action is messy, right? People always expect, if you break the POC, you go to the value area low. People expect it to just go straight down, but likely you will, get some messy price action. Now, we do have this weekly level right here, and that is coming in at about 19,288. So maybe, if we continue down, maybe we work our way down to this weekly level, play around, and then maybe if we break down from here and we're just on our way to that value area low, that major level of support that I'm looking for, again, if we see continued bearish action here on Bitcoin, would be the value area low at about 18,825, which, just like you were saying, Miguel, it's so interesting to see. This is why I love this show. I love coming on this show and hearing other people's points of views, because Magic Internet Money was just talking about, a level very, very close to where I'm looking, and he got there in a completely different way. So that is, one of the things I love about TA. But if we come down to this value area low and we start to lose this level, I'm starting to really worry, about some seriously bearish price action, because if we lose this value area low, in my opinion, our last hope is going to be this 786 fib level here at about 17,793. And if we lose that fib level, I am going to be looking much, much lower for Bitcoin. Now, obviously, we'll have to cross this bridge when we get there. However, if we lose that fib level right here, I will be looking for much, much lower prices for Bitcoin. And more specifically, I will be looking down towards that 14 to 12K level, or that range down here. We do have a spider line at about $15,300. So again, might get caught up there. But essentially, if we lose that blue 786 fib level, I will be looking down to this next range at about 14 to 12K. But a little too early to start worrying about that just yet.
Dude, exactly right. Different strategies, very similar levels. I mean, that 17,000 level for Bitcoin, if we do lose that, probably going to be heading a lot lower, which then goes into the whole Ethereum heading a lot lower, because Bitcoin drops, everything drops. I just want to quickly point out, Kenton, thank you for the super chat, man. Says, I cannot believe we get this alpha for free. Thank you, Bill, Frankie, and Magic Internet Money. Exactly, guys. Pay them back, right? Go follow their channels. Go follow them. Get involved. Learn TA if you're interested in learning TA. Get involved with these guys. They're coming on here every single Thursday to bring you this knowledge and education for free. So show them some love, guys. But yeah, man, I'm hoping we hold, because I just want to have a recovery. But I think we might not. We might not hold. Right? Things are very choppy. Things are very weird. But those are also the great times that, Magic and CVO have also pointed out. Shout out to CVO, that, when things are very doubtful and everybody thinks something's going to go, everything's going to head one way, it heads the other way. So I'm kind of like in that, I don't know which way it's going to go, because I'm thinking things seem really bad. We're probably going to go a lot lower, but a lot of people are saying we're going to go a lot lower. So then I'm thinking, wait a minute, question everything, trust nothing. The institutional guys are like, they're all thinking we're going to go lower. We're going to pump this bad boy, right? But then you got to question that and say, what if they're making us think that they're going to pump it? So we wait, and then they're actually not. They're going to dump it, and then it's going to dump even further, right? It gets crazy. So that's why you got to follow TA, because if you get emotional, you start analyzing all these emotional thought processes, you're not going to get anywhere.
You're over there playing 5D chess, my friend.
Right, like Star Wars chess. No, seriously, man. Hey, man, we've all done it. You know it.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, man.
Oh, yeah.
Especially on a day like today, man.
I tell people,
I live it, man. Question everything, trust nothing. I live that model, right? So, guys, if you haven't smashed the likes, smash the likes. I want to get us to 100 likes, guys. We got almost 80 likes. We can get there. We can get to 100 likes. I know we can. The next round is altcoins, right? We're gonna go into altcoins of your choice. So every person on here is going to go through an altcoin of their choice, whether it's going to be a good altcoin that's going to pump, or maybe an altcoin that they think is going to dump further and you should probably avoid. They can go into that and choose whatever altcoin they want. So if you're interested in that, make sure you smash the likes, make sure you stay around. So let's get to it. Magic, what is your altcoin of your choice?
You know, I got to pick back up on DOT, man. We talked about some things last week, so we got to talk about it this week. So it'll be pretty quick. So if you guys didn't watch last week, you probably should. So this was one we talked about on the weekly time frame, where we were saying you really have to clear these local highs right here. These two would be this one that's coming in. Well, I guess I don't have a. There we go. That's the tool we're looking for. It's coming in at 757, and then you're looking for one right here coming in just above that at 777. These are your weekly highs that you need to get back above. So all you've done is come up, swung, fail the highs here, and close back inside the range. So you do have a local range going on at pretty high time frame support. Looks a lot like the Bitcoin chart. You can see that you've been setting up local support in this area here at the Q3 open, at a monthly swing failure pattern. What you don't want to see, as you've already come down and taken the 2021 lows, is start closing high time frame candles below this support. So if you're trading this as a trader, what we talked about was you have to be looking at this as we're looking to trade this from support to resistance. If we can break above this zone at the high here, we're looking to take it up to these levels here. So that's the idea. But you do have to be, if you're in the trader's mindset, buying where it's convenient, buying where the risk is low. That means at support, right? And it's giving you plenty of opportunities. It's all about patience, and then making sure that you lock in a little gains and look for this move to the upside if given, right? So for me, that's still the play on DOT. I'm still looking at this as support until it's not. Same with Bitcoin. It's at support. However, just like Frankie said, I'm in the same camp. We talked about this, where I think if we lose this, I know a lot of people are talking about 16K. I'm not going to be playing that level. I'm looking for a 14K level, 13,880, same area he is. I think that's going to be the next area. And if that's the case, you have to be looking at Polkadot in the same sense. And the reason I'm covering this is one that not only do I actively trade like Ethereum, but it is something that I accumulate to hold long term. So in terms of accumulation, this was the zone that we were looking for. And now if this does not hold, willing to come down and buy again in the $4 range and try to get the best average on it. But we are coming back into support, so it is something to monitor. So if Bitcoin starts recovering the range and doing some things, you know, getting back above that 20,688.50 level, specifically challenging into 21.5, Polkadot and these other altcoins are going to look the same, and you should be looking to take advantage of that, because, you know, when Bitcoin does that, it's, I don't know what the percentage is from, 20,500 to 21.5. What is that, like 5%? But if you take advantage of that on something like DOT and you get back up here, it's almost double that percentage. You need no leverage for this. You're just buying an altcoin, and whether you're looking to trade it or accumulate it, you have to have a plan, as we talked about earlier. So for me right now, the plan is still looking at this zone right here for an area that I want to be buying on strength, and looking to sell into this region and repeat the process until it gives me a move higher. So that's what I'm looking at on DOT.
Dude, that's great. I mean, I cannot imagine buying a $4 Polkadot again, right? Polkadot ripped last cycle. If we do go down to those levels, even 628, which I think was the bottom of that range, it's still ridiculously low to the amount of utility that Polkadot brings to the ecosystem, what it's doing, and when it actually goes for another massive rip in the next bull cycle. So, I'm a long-term holder. I HODL, I DCA. Those prices look very attractive to me, but obviously never financial advice to anybody out there. Do your own research and get educated.
All I'll say is, if you guys are going to be trading these altcoins in this type of environment where Bitcoin does have the chance to make big moves, Ethereum does, just go easy on the leverage. Don't do anything.
For sure.
Don't just be like, hey, it's down this far, so it can't liquidate me, because that's not a thing. Not in crypto.
I don't need a stop loss. Ain't no way this is going to drop another 80%.
You have to say it, man. This is the land
can't
of the details.
liquidate me. Oh my God. Never say that.
Yeah.
Bill, what is your altcoin of your choice this week?
All right. Well, I was prepared because I'm in like the magic Polkadot camp, but I can't. Last time we had the Polkadot Love Fest. So tonight I'm going to actually try something different. Okay. So this is Solana, right? The layer one, everyone hates. Okay. Do you guys remember this? Like, maybe they got to start selling t-shirts that says, I sold the ETH merch. right? Remember, does anybody remember like, oh my God, I got to buy Near or AVAX because if the ETH merge doesn't work, then, the thing I buy is going to go up and ETH will go to zero. But no one's looking at what's happening to the other layer ones today, right? So Solana, everyone hates it. All right, fine. It's centralized, whatever. But the fact of the matter is there's a huge DeMark support point in kind of the neighborhood of 31, right? And, you can look at Solana and say, all right, Solana's dead. Or you can look at it and say, is this the bigger the base, the higher in the space? Meaning the longer something sits in these ranges, the more powerful it can be if it goes the other way. Now, what would a centralized, piece of what like Solana in people's minds, how would Solana ever rally? And how about the Solana phone, right? How about you airdrop me some NFTs, some art, right? Some incentives to hold your phone and get your phone. There's a lot of talk that, you could be running like your own Bitcoin, not your own Bitcoin, your own like light node, as the blockchain guys say. You're in computer programming. Can you imagine running a node on your phone? So what I'm trying to say is this could be support. This could also be a cliff like Bitcoin at 6,000, right? Back in 2018, where it just sits there and falls off a cliff and heads for zero. So let's just pretend it's not going to zero for just a moment and ask yourself, what happens is if everybody stops thinking because of the red ink? That's what happens, right? You see the red ink, and whether you were bullish or bearish, you go, wow, there's a lot of red ink here, and I just can't think anymore. Well, that's why you have the show, because we want you to think. We want you to think about the Solana and ETH operating systems on mobile phones, right? The ETH merge has happened, and Solana didn't go to zero. Well, if it's supposed to go down and it doesn't, what could it do? It could go up. So, I'm interested, and I'm always interested in thinking, even if I was temporarily wrong on the bullish September view, I don't think that's a reason to stop thinking or give up on crypto.
Yeah, dude, that's a really good point. And the whole thing about Solana, right? We all hate it because it crashes and whatever. It doesn't really matter whether you hate it or you like it. There's institutional investors behind it that are going to pump money into it and make sure that it succeeds, right? And at the same time, with Solana, the whole centralized topic. Now that Ethereum is proof of stake, some news is coming out that I think like 46% of their nodes currently are being ran by two wallets. So that whole proof of stake model does bring a lot more centralization. They're also talking about World Economic Forum being all behind Ethereum's merge, the proof of stake, and that's a whole different topic for another day. That's a more of a what if Wednesday kind of episode. But so we can't really hate on Solana too much anymore for the centralization if Ethereum's kind of heading the same way now that it's proof of stake. And whether it has some hiccups or not, right? Ethereum's had a bunch of hiccups, and everybody still loves it. So I think Solana definitely has some legs in the next bull market to really go and rip.
But who has the best phone?
What was that?
Who has the best phone out of the two projects, though?
Well, Solana's got a phone that they can wave around, but I think actually the ETH operating system is.
Oh yeah,
that's really interesting. Like I said, ETH is dead. Vitalik's, nobody's looking at the good. Got to look at the good.
For sure, 100%. Everybody's focusing on negative because we're in the bear market, right? I just want to say, guys, we need 11 more likes to hit 100 likes. 11 more likes. Let's smash that like button. Let's hear what Frankie has to say about his, altcoin of his choice this week. Make sure you join the Discord. We're giving away 0.125 ETH tonight in the Discord. Danger Close Alpha. Get involved. Get prepared. Get ready for that faction war, guys. If you don't know what it is, go learn about it in the Discord. So, Frankie, my man, what is your altcoin?
Let's do it, guys. Also, definitely smash that like button. Let's get it. I know we could do it, but I actually do want to bring up Quant. Now, the reason I bring this up is because somebody asked me to look at this on my stream a little while ago here, and we looked at a bunch of stuff. And as far as when the coins that we were looking at all kind of looked generally bearish in the short to medium term. But when I looked at Quant, I was like, wow, this is like the one altcoin that was looking a little bit different than the ones that we looked at. And Quant is right now, 2-hour money flow coming up towards that zero line. Your VWAP is coming down. But really with the VWAP, I kind of describe this as like the ebbs and the flows of the market, right? I'm looking at the money flow as more of an indicator of a longer move. And then your VWAP, which is this white wave here, coming up and down, up above and below the zero line, kind of just gives you those ebbs and flows of the market. But your money flow is really what I'm looking at to kind of gauge if we're going to have a bullish move or a bearish move. So money flow coming up generally, that VWAP might drag it back into the red a little bit, but it is looking like it wants to cross over into the green. Now let me come up a couple time frames here. A 4-hour money flow back in the green here, so not looking too bad. I'm going to come down to the super low time frames here. Now, obviously, we have come up to a little bit of that you will find some support
Frankie's
here.
Back. I don't know if you know, but you kind of froze for a minute there.
Oh no!
I was like, either he froze or we froze. Go ahead.
Yeah, for a minute I thought that was me, but I was like, I saw magic move, and I was like, oh no, we're still good.
Right. Sorry about that. Let me kind of re-say. I'm not sure exactly where I got cut off, but essentially, I just wanted to look at Quant because a lot of other altcoins were looking pretty bearish, and Quant was just looking a little bit different here. Obviously, we have come up to some resistance here at about 105.73. Getting a rejection here and coming down. However, your money flow is coming up towards that zero line. Showing that money is starting to come back into the asset, at least on the 1-hour time frame, and I think we could come back up a little bit here. So 1-hour money flow coming up into the green, your 2-hour money flow coming back out, but I think once that VWAP comes down and comes back up, it will drag you into the green for a potential move up. And looking to break that level at about 105.73. And then if we do continue to come down, I would be looking at this purple box, top of it coming in at about 97.29, and the bottom of it coming in at about 95.27. So really the reason that I wanted to just bring this up was it doesn't look as bad as a lot of other things, right? Money flow crossover into the green on the 4-hour, typically a pretty good look. 6-hour money flow coming back up. So it is daily money flow coming back into the red, but your VWAP is coming up. So it just doesn't look as bad as everything else. And I'm not going to really do TA on this, but I did just want to bring it up. And that is Cosmos. Cosmos is on the move, guys. Cosmos is got a nice little rip here. We're coming down, but it does look like we can continue up here. Just wanted to bring this up. I don't know if Cosmos got news or what it was, but it is getting nice moves to the upside. This thing has been going up for a while here. So looking for some continued upside for Atom as well.
Guys, there you have it. 2 for the price of 1, right? We asked him for 1, and he delivered 2 altcoins of his choice, right? The Quant is a very interesting one, right? Quant is one that's had a massive move. I mean, it dropped down to like the $40 range, and it is ripped right back up to 100 something. Now it's taking back down throughout the bear market, right? Massive moves. It's one of those really interesting ones that has a lot of things going on with the ISO 200 coins, and it also has a very limited supply, like the Bitcoin situation. So it's got a lot of interesting things going about it, and it had a massive run in the last bull cycle. So I think Quant is definitely one that I'm keeping my eye on throughout this bear market as well. Obviously, like I said, never financial advice, but Quant is a good, interesting one. So I'm very glad you brought that one up. Guys, we hit 100 likes. Thank you so much. We got 130 people in here. We got 3 great TA experts here that come every Thursday onto the show at 7:30 Eastern time to bring you guys this amazing information, like one of our members said, for free. So I appreciate all of you guys showing the love. I hope you guys are all going to their channels and following them because they deserve it. Nobody works harder than these guys right here, and this show wouldn't be possible without them. So guys, final words before we close out.
The best trades are the toughest trades. If you follow tactical guys, right, and they're telling you that here's a floor, and they might sweep those lows. Now let's hope it's not 800, Let's just pretend that. But if the lows get swept and the stops get run and people start panicking, again, do you really want to be remembered as somebody who sold the merge? Or do you want to be remembered as somebody who was standing down there when people were hysterical for no reason, right? And was like, you know what? You want to sell me some ETH at 1,300? I'll take that. And that's, you know what I'm saying?
Great.
So that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I think the same way, dude. The crypto is the hill that I'm willing to die on 100%, right? I'm here, get rich, die trying. There is no halfway measures here. All in or nothing. How about you, Frankie?
I would just say I like that. So, sometimes the best trade is the toughest trade. You know, with that being said, obviously, as Bill just talked about, you know, when everybody's scared is when you want to buy. And I will just say this, Miguel, you were talking about this earlier. You know, when everybody's calling for lower prices, this is one thing that really gets me, you know, a little bit tripped up here because, you know, TA is amazing, obviously, but you know. Everybody calling for lower. When everyone's calling for lower lows, I kind of get PTSD from when everybody was calling for 100K. So just remember that. I do think there's some serious weight there. When the masses are calling for something, just remember it's a lot of the times you don't get there. So I would just leave you guys with that. Just be careful, and it's not always the best idea to follow the herd. So usually counter trade the herd. So
100%, dude. Magic, what you got for the people?
Yeah. So I know you guys come here on Thursday, at least for the TA. I know a lot of you aren't day traders or like even high frequency traders where maybe you trade more than once a week. So all I can say is make sure that whatever your strategy is, you've sat down with yourself because this is your money and your future, and you've devised a plan. You've picked out the projects you're interested in. You've picked out the areas of value that you find value, and make sure that you're ready to live with the results of those and document it. Don't just say, hey, I'm going to do this. I mean, write it down, write what you're feeling. You don't have to do that to be a day trader. You can do that as an investor. And this is something that as you grow as not only an individual, but in financial markets, you'll find a lot of value in going back and reviewing those and say, you know, hey, everyone was scared here. I said I was going to buy a $900 Ethereum no matter what. And I allotted the money that I was willing to risk. And I went ahead and did it, and it paid off. You know, or maybe it didn't pay off. And that's okay because you sat down with yourself before that and you made that decision. And that's really important to do, especially in an asset class like this, because this is a very volatile asset class. That's what attracts a lot of people, because you can make a lot of money, but you can also lose a lot of money. So make sure you're sitting down with yourself, you're having those conversations, and you're participating in this type of activity in the way that you want. Now, if you're just in it because, like Bill said, like a lot of us got into this because we like the tech. We like the idea that crypto represents. It's not just about getting rich. Like, this is some very cool, groundbreaking stuff. Make sure that you're still okay with whatever you're putting in there. You know, hey, I'm putting this in there because I believe in Solana, or I believe in Cardano or Ethereum, you know, whatever it is. Make sure that you've sat down and you've said, this is why I'm doing it. This is what I'm comfortable with. And then stick to that. Don't deviate. Don't do anything crazy. Don't, you know, mortgage your home. You know, those are generally bad signs, you know? So, and then you'll find yourself not checking the price in the middle of the night, getting on your phone constantly on dinners or something and looking at the price of Bybit or Coinbase or whatever it is. So that's what I'll say. Yeah.
Perfectly said. I completely 100% agree with everything you said there. Right. So guys, if you know, he's talking about, you know, losing a lot of money. We're giving away a lot of money. Join our Discord down at Danger Close Alpha. Right. We're giving away 0.125 ETH tonight. Get involved in getting into that giveaway. So guys, like always, smash the likes on your way out if you haven't smashed it yet. Go follow these guys. And like always, question everything, trust nothing. And until next time, HODL like it's hot.